Enough talking about Luocha, let's go ahead and put the spotlight on one of the other brand new characters that are going to be coming out in version 1.1, which is going to be Yukong. Now, Yukong is a very exciting character to have in the game, especially with a lot of people being very excited that she's coming to the game with how good her design is, who she is as a character, and also the fact that she is a support role unit and a free-to-play one to add on to that. So if you didn't already know, yes, we are going to be getting a free copy of Yukong when it comes to the version 1.2. So you are going to have to wait a little bit, but this information is going to be relevant for everyone. So you are going to be getting a free copy of Yukong. So this is really nice, especially since she's an imaginary unit. And now that everyone has a free-to-play imaginary unit, everyone has every element to their arsenal. So you don't have to worry about those imaginary enemies coming to you and not being able to break their shield. You will finally have a character to do so. And also that she's a support. She will be able to flesh out those teams in Memory of Chaos or wherever you need to use them in general team building. So having Yukong is going to be an overall big buff to a lot of different accounts, depending on the scarcity of what roles they have on their account or what scarcity they have in the characters they built. You're going to be able to do something with Yukong for sure, no matter how you use her or when you use her when it comes to Memory of Chaos or just general team building. But let's go ahead and talk about Yukong's kit, and then we'll be talking about the value that she's going to be adding to the banner and also to your account. Now, for her basic attack is nothing very special. You're going to be doing the same thing as everyone except Silverwolf, of course, because Silverwolf has that innate passive where she's able to apply debuffs on her basic attack. For her skill, she's going to get obtain 2 stacks of roaring bowstrings. When this is active, the attack of all allies increases, and every time an ally turns ends, Yukong loses 1 stack of the buff. Yukong will not lose the buff on the turn she uses her skill, so this skill is going to run out pretty quickly. But for the fact that you're able to give a team-wide attack boost, this is going to help a lot of different characters not only do a little bit of damage, but also for your DPS, who's going to be basically benefiting from this 100% with being able to get more attack or more damage in with this buff. You're also going to be helping other characters like Luocha, because Luocha does scale off of attack, so this is going to help his heals as well. So Yukong is going to be a very nice unit to have on with Luocha as well. So you got to make sure to build her if you do end up getting Luocha, because it is going to help your heals hit a little bit more when it comes to your allies, and also doing a bit of more damage when it comes to your DPS as well. So this is really cool. And then the ultimate is going to be, if the buff is active when Yukong uses her ultimate, the crit rate and crit damage of all allies will increase. At the same time, she deals imaginary damage to a single target enemy. So not only that, not only do you have this buff up, and if you do use the ultimate, which you should be using it almost after you use the skill every time, you're going to be getting a crit rate buff, you're going to be getting a crit damage buff to all allies. So just imagine a more cracked version of Bronya's slightly. We don't know the numbers for sure when it comes to Yukong's passive, but overall getting a crit rate and crit damage buff is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, I don't think it's going to be as insane as Bronya's crit damage buff, just because we are adding crit rate onto it, and she is going to be a free-to-play 4-star. So you shouldn't expect it to be a crazy high number that we're going to be getting from this, but overall, any crit rate and crit damage boost is going to be very strong. And not only that, since her ultimate is going to be a damaging one at that, with her being a support character, it is going to help a lot with finishing enemies or basically being able to destroy their shields. And with her being an imaginary unit, being able to cause imprisonment is a very strong break effect to have on an imaginary character, or basically taking the shield off of enemies. So this is a really good ultimate. Her kit overall is very solid. And then her talent is going to be basic attack deals additional damage and increases the toughness, reducing damage of the current attack. This effect can be triggered again after a set number of turns. So basically, you're going to be doing more damage to the shield, if I'm not wrong, which again, this is really freaking good to have, especially if you're going to be having the skill up, using your ultimate, using your basic attack. This is going to help you shred those shields for those imaginary unit weaknesses. So this is going to help a lot with causing that imprisonment, being able to slow those enemies down. And I can see this being very useful in Memory of Chaos. And I do like that these healers, that these support characters are venturing into offensive ults, so that you're able to actually get things done, break the shields when you really want to. Because although the AoE heal is really good, or any other supportive ability like Ting Yun's energy regeneration for your characters, this is all really good. But sometimes you just need that little extra damage to end the enemy, or basically you need that much extra damage to be able to destroy the shield. So this is overall really freaking good when it comes to having Yukong on the team. And then lastly, her technique is going to be, after using the technique, Yukong will enter sprint mode for 20 seconds. So she's going to be moving really fast in the overworld. And once you do hit an enemy, she's going to be getting the buff of 2 stacks when she enters battle. So this is a really good ability to have, especially in the overworld with you being able to run really quickly. Some people like to farm the overworld for all the enemies, and this is going to make it a lot faster getting to each enemy really quickly. But overall, Yukong seems like a very strong character. With her being a free-to-play support unit, this is just overall going to flesh out a lot of accounts, and also being able to build on top of the imaginary element, because at the current moment, Will is the only character that has the imaginary element. And of course with Luocha and also Yukong, this is going to be spreading out that element a little bit more, being able to put more roles into it, which is going to help a lot. Now I do think at the current moment, Imaginary and I think Ice are the only teams that can really put out a full mono team. I think Fire can do it as well, but having Yukong, Welt, Luocha, and Silverwolf is going to be an amazing team with how much debuffing and buff stripping you're going to have on that team. And especially because you're going to have the healer, you're going to have the support, you're going to have the sub DPS slash DPS, I guess you could say, since that he's going to be the DPS on the team, all in the same team that are going to be imaginary. And then you're going to have Silverwolf, who's going to be applying that imaginary weakness if enemies don't already have it. Same thing with Ice. I think you can put Japard, Yanqing, and then you can put Pella for a debuffer, and then Silverwolf. So there's a lot of different avenues we're going to be able to take very soon, that we're getting more fleshed out elements, we're getting more support roles and more roles as a whole for different elements. So I think very soon we're going to end up seeing a mono style type meta, which is going to be really fun to see, especially with you being able to shred shields super quickly if everyone's doing the same amount of damage in terms of shield breaking. So this is going to be really nice, especially with her added on ultimate with just damage and also supports, and also having the basic attack being more hostile towards shields is going to be really good for Yukong. I can see her being a very good character, and of course with her being on the banner with Luocha and her being a really good teammate with Luocha with the team wide attack buff, this is going to be really nice to have on the banner, especially with Eidolons. I think she's going to be absolutely insane. They're probably going to give her more stacks on her buff. They probably might give her more on her crit rate and crit damage increase. We don't know. We'll have to see tomorrow. I will be summoning for Luocha and for Yukong tomorrow, so make sure to come by the stream tomorrow when the banner comes out. I cannot wait to summon on this banner just to try out Luocha, and same for Yukong. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. See you all in the next one, and peace.